Community Juneteenth Festival presented by It Takes a Village, with music, history lessons, community services, resources, interviews, and entertainment. Watch on Rainier Avenue Radio's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Listen on our app, website, tune-in channel, or smart speaker. Juneteenth live in the community on your community radio station, RainierAvenueRadio.world.
This is Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
I just love the sound of shattering glass. Hello, world. I'm Bettina Carey, and you're tuning into Rainier Avenue Radio.world, where we help you to shatter your glass ceilings with an S, because, well, glass ceilings are meant to be shattered, not merely just broken. And if you've been looking a way to shatter yours, you're in the right place. And today we're going to be talking to Rita Boccuzzi. She's going to help us to get really in tune with our financial wherewithal. If you've had a divorce or you've had a breakup or just even an argument with someone in your life around money, this talk is going to really take you to a whole new level. Let me introduce a little bit about Rita before we get started. Rita Boccuzzi is a financial intelligence expert, and she's passionately committed to guiding women specifically, but men too, to achieve financial peace of mind that includes transforming money conversations and releasing money confusion, expanding your financial knowledge, and building that confidence inside around money and wealth. She is a professional who's leading the movement to raise your financial intelligence and scale to financial freedom. That's what we all want, after all. She educates and empowers women to achieve financial independence by getting core issues on how women relate to money, along with teaching practical strategies. And lovingly, she's known as Mama Rita, MamaRitaMoney.com for her website. And she leads wine, women, and wealth events and Money 101 educational workshops, all for free. So welcome the CEO of Flourish Inc. and partnered with 5 Rings Financial, Rita Boccuzzi. It's so great to have you here.
It is so wonderful to be here, Bettina. I love being anywhere that you are because you're always sharing of light and energy and positivity. And that's definitely what the world needs now, a lot of it. And really so much expertise on how we get to shatter our revenue glass ceiling. I love it. It's opening up the possibilities for what we get to do in the world and how we show up in the world. So I am so honored to be here with you today.
And I am honored to have you. So ditto on that. So Rita, we were just on a call yesterday and you shared something with me just before we went on. And that was that there's this little known secret about becoming wealthy. What is it?
I love that question. So the secret to being wealthy is that it's not a secret. It is not a secret. So if we stop this thought process that it's a secret, that we don't get to know, or we don't know, or we don't have the possibility to access it, when we break through that and shatter that myth, all the possibilities are possible. So yes, my favorite secret to share.
I love it. That's quite the mantra to remember, right? The secret about wealth is that it's no secret at all. And of course, you're the expert. So what do wealthy people do to keep and hold on to their money?
Okay. So, wow, that's a loaded question. So to have, grow, and keep their money, first thing is their mindset. Really, it's being open to possibilities 100% of the time, no matter what's going on in your life, 100% possibility. So I call it there's a many accumulation pathway system. So it's a map, right, or maps, and in that it is your vision plus your mission plus your action equals your results. So is being wealthy or getting wealthy always easy? Not always. A lot of times the driver is that mission, right? But if you have that vision, you need the plan. So the vision is like the criteria to your plan. And then it takes action, discipline, responsibility, accountability, whatever you want to call it, whatever motivates you or drives you, that's your word. And so always being mindful of the words and the energy that you feel about it. Because sometimes people think, oh, when I say the word discipline, they're like, oh my gosh. Okay, then that's not your word. What is going to motivate you to take action? It might be fun, right? Like, how can I make this fun? How can I make this flow? How can I make this easy to get the results that you want? Really, that is one of the keys of many for getting on that pathway and doing what smart money people do and how be savvy like wealthy people. There are technical pieces and skills. However, if you don't break through the mindset, it really is an uphill battle. And it can be a long time. So I think working on themselves first and improving and being better for how we show up in the world is the number one key. And I'm sure you won't hear that from those financial professionals because, we get wrapped up in the doing or the headspace. But it's how are we being? How are we showing up in the world? What are our belief systems? Maybe what do we need to shift? So lots of possibilities to create amazing, awesome change and be the same as wealthy people.
Absolutely. And that reminds me of my very favorite quote. It actually lives on my website, which is vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. And that's by Joel A. Barker. And again, it's one of my favorite quotes because without your vision, without the right action, without the right dream, you really can't go very far, right? You can't experience that wealth mindset.
It couldn't be more eloquently and perfectly said, really. And of course, this is why we're connected. And creating change, the change that we want to see in the world. And as we do it together, collaborating together to share our messages right here, right now.
Yeah, those action steps are just so critical as well, right? So if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to necessarily get there, right? So it's like you got to have a MapQuest version of your trip to wealth. Or
you know what I call that? I call that a financial positioning system. So if you think about your GPS, right? Your GPS, have you ever been where you went to a location to maybe meet somebody, right, for a meeting or what have you, maybe just pre-COVID or maybe starting to now. And all of a sudden, you get to go back home and you set your GPS to have the directions to go bring you home. However, it does not know where you are now. It's not registering. How do you get home? It's the same with our finances. Just like you said, it's that vision, which is a criteria. I call it a financial position criteria. Asking smart questions. How do you learn what smart questions are? Hang out with smart money people. Hang out with people smarter than you or people that you aspire to be like. Because I'll tell you, the one thing I see about people is that they love sharing and helping people. And I find that the wealthier the people are, the more people they're sharing with. And because they're in an abundance mindset and they are sharing and spreading, because wealth isn't just about money, right? It's having a wealthy mindset. Wealth is your health, being physically healthy. Wealth is, again, just not mindset, but also mental status, right? How's your mental health? All relates to, it shows what our numbers are usually in our financial health. So a lot of times when people are defeated and bankrupt, a lot of times they're not physically or mentally healthy. They all correlate to one another. And the wonderful, wonderful thing is that I see more and more people like you, Bettina, empowering everyone, and I say everyone, to be together in unity as a community, collaborating. Because the more we unite in this beautiful village of empowerment and raising each other up, this is a movement. And it's a movement that is growing and growing, and I just love where I see this growing and growing today.
I love it too. I love that we're connected. And you had a very serious wake-up call around money, right? And what made you take that leap into entrepreneurship that led you to be on the path that you are on today? Because I know whenever we talk about money, people often think, oh, well, that's not me. I don't have any money. I don't, I'm never going to have money. And so they might be thinking around this topic of wealth or money that they don't belong in the conversation. So share with us what happened to you that was so life-altering that put you on your path today.
The transitions position, right? Which way do I go in life? So for me, about 11 years ago, I got to be a survivor of cancer. I say about 11 years ago because I actually like calling it into being ahead of time, because 11 years will be January. And I know I'm going to be perfectly fine and in remission. But when I got cancer and I got to experience what life was like at that time, I was a financial breadwinner. And I ended up being what I thought was the financial burden. And I had my two beautiful sons, Francesco and Anthony. And one was almost 13, and the other one just had turned 17 in there. You have a picture.
Aww.
Keep it by my side because this is my driver every day, and it's not just them. So what happened when I was in junior high and high school was it was a wake-up call. I taught my children to really know what to do in the world as far as how to take care of themselves, how to wash laundry, go to school, get a good education, learn, be disciplined, take care of household things. But when I was sitting there, sick and unable to move, physically too weak to even barely get up, from my bed to my sofa during the day, the one thing that I felt in regret for was I didn't feel like I created a financial shield of armor for my children. And what that means is I didn't educate them around money. And I have been learning and curious all my life, but I never really pulled the trigger and said, oh my gosh, got to find a money education class. I got to teach my kids that this way when they go into the world, they don't have to go through there are many losses for different reasons, whether it was a stock market loss or a real estate market loss, which just happened right before the cancer. Able to take those hits, many people were not. But one blow after another blow, and to experience this financial cancer, which nowadays over 60% of Americans go into bankruptcy over medical-related issues. And then my big question is, why is that if we all have health care? That healthcare pays for doctors. It doesn't pay your mortgage. It doesn't pay your insurance. It doesn't pay your food. So we get to have a perspective of understanding this at a global or bigger picture, right? If you're in an airplane and it's at 10,000 feet, you can see the details of things very differently as opposed to 50,000 feet where you're seeing a more global view. And that's where you get to take a look. And that was the hard look for me. So what was I going to do next? I had a choice.
That saying, you teach what you most need to learn. In this case, you were trying to protect those that you didn't know whether you'd be there for after you got your cancer diagnosis. So that's a really great, highly motivational opportunity but that you've created. And of course, now it's a pathway for anyone who works with you. So what do you know today that you wish you had known when you first got started as an entrepreneur?
So as an entrepreneur, the first thing was to be patient with myself as I grew. Because a lot of the times it's setting your intentions, but then managing your expectations. And my expectations are really, really, really big. It's not about not thinking big. So don't confuse this, because really thinking big and having a big vision that scares the heck out of you is another tip that I would give. Embrace that vision. Know that you're the perfect person. Be confident wherever you are at, because one of the biggest things I hear about from entrepreneurs right now is imposter syndrome. And if it's your mission and it's your calling, there is no imposter, because it comes from your heart. It's not a headspace thing. And that when you're driven with your heart, you just get to connect with the people that you most admire and most want to be like. That's why I connected with you. Right? One of the people that I most admire your business model. You know what? And ultimately, it is about shattering, for me, that revenue glass ceiling and being educated how to do it so that we can build up our confidence, which is building up our financial intelligence. We all have financial intelligence at different levels, and we get to build it. And so patience, ongoing learning, and connections. Those are probably the three that I'd share today right now.
Yes, those are great. And so what are your top three books that you like to lean on for this financial wherewithal that you are? I mean, you've done a lot of self-education, and but what are the top three that you think other folks out there watching or listening would be interested?
Well, what's beautiful is I have them right here behind me. So first one, know your values.
Yeah.
Know your values. Absolutely know your values. Because your values, I call it, it's your compass, your values. So I'll really quickly say it. Like the center, that's the dial, the director. Mine is love. Love. My true north is wisdom, learning, right? My right side, that's my community, my family, my friends. That's who's got me right here. My left side is my faith. That's my heart. And my foundation is a belief in abundance. So when you follow your compass of your values, oh my God.
Yes, that's Dr. Betty's book.
Dr. Betty.
Dr. Betty. That's how you and I came to know each other, was through Dr. Betty.
Right? This is where I'm talking about connections, asking, meeting people, because I find that the most people that we admire the most that are considered the wealthiest are the ones that help the most people, like I said before. Yep. So the other book that I love is, when you get your values down, learning your habits, atomic habits, or there's another book called, I think it's called Tiny Habits. So it's the small baby steps, just being right where you are and letting yourself grow. A lot of times, we want to take the leap, but you don't want to fall short, right? And then my favorite, of course, is One With Me, but because Denise Arand of Wine, Women, and Wealth inspired me about having fun around money. And in here, there's about 12 stories, including mine, but it's mostly because there are 12 stories. We all get to connect with somebody differently. So Wine, Women, Wealth with Denise Arand is amazing because it lets you see there's going to be somebody in there that you're going to connect to, that even though we think we're alone, we all have connected stories, so we can all bring each other up and elevate together.
That's great. Well, that brings me to my final question and point, which is you're on this education movement, both in your spirit and in reality. And of course, we lined up through Dr. Betty, and she brought us together. Also, Lee Romanoff, a part of the global women movement too. And it turns out that we aligned enough with you that you joined the We Empower You movement and the We Empower You membership. So now, how does that intersect for you? And what's your big vision to execute on the planet with that in mind?
Love it. So again, I'm always showing up where I admire people and looking at the business model that I wanted to create around money that I have not seen in the world today. So, there's traditional. I like to focus on the safe side of money. I believe that there's a purpose for money in every way for different people at different times. And we get to get educated about that so that this way we can make our best choices. So that's I have money education movement boot camp, because I know we are going to have millions of families. And my goal is 1 million, to facilitate 1 million families getting educated around money, so that they can start making their best decisions, thinking, planning, and acting in their best interest, not being positioned by somebody else. Because if you don't have your criteria, somebody else will have one for you. So we get to know that. And then a mind map. We talked about the map. A money mind map to protect the gaps, as well as learning the mindset and the skill set. And all of that packed together is part of my movement. And I actually have an event coming up, and I'm going to say, for those of you that are seeing this, if you message Bettina or myself or tag us somehow, find out, because my boot camp, I am going to give a special rate for Bettina's followers, members, and it's going to be $297 for our next boot camp, which is June 25th, 26th, and 27th. It's $297. That's less than $100 a day, and it's actually only 2.5 days. You're learning what you should have learned from kinder to college in less than 24 hours. because I call that super time bending. You get to learn in less than 2.5 days, which took me 12 years to compile. And if I can create that time and space, the younger we are, the more years we get to celebrate. And that's the most important. Have fun with that all. Learn from new perspectives so that we can create new ways to grow and shatter the glass ceiling for our future. Because what we do today totally affects our future a year from now, 5 years from now. And because guess what? Life is right now. So we get to take action now to create the change. And if people want to know more, they can reach out to me at mamaritamoney.com. And just, I am here to help people. An educated society, especially around finances, is an elevated society. And remember, it's no secret to be wealthy. That's the only secret. And now you know it. So what's holding people back? What's holding you back?
Yes.
Share it with us. We're here to help you.
No matter your age, it's never too late. I'm a perfect example of that. I worked hard all of my life. I was thinking about heading into retirement last year, just before COVID hit. And it's turned out to be one of the best years ever for me. It's turned out to be my inspirement years. I'm 63 as of last week. And my 62nd year was literally shattering the revenue glass ceiling. I hadn't done it. I had certainly hit 6 figures in the past, but I had not consistently held something that could be replicable in my lifetime. And the We Empower You community and the We Empower You membership is doing that for not only myself, but others in the membership. So can you share a little bit about what you're getting out of the We Empower You membership so folks can
Perfect that you asked.
that connection as well?
Perfect that you asked. First of all, a monetizing website. I know that there's web TV, there's sponsorships, there's so many marketing ideas, really, and that you get to take step by step. And gosh, if I had We Empower You when I started all this 12 years ago, I probably would have saved over $250,000 because that's what it costs over that amount over time. And so it would be a fraction of that to get myself started. Also, the fact that I love your business model and learned from it and said, oh my goodness, I can take a traditional financial business model with Bettina's model, right, with an affiliate marketing, and you can ask about that. I do have it as well as We Empower You, because imagine a world where we get to find what we love, share it, and then get paid for it. That is the new model, and that we then get to share with other people so that they can do the same in affiliate promotion. So this way, it would just like, it's like sharing about the movies. And maybe instead of them, like sometimes they do surveys and they'll send you a gift certificate, you're actually getting paid an income, and they all do that as a benefit to one another so that we can grow exponentially to shatter that glass ceiling, not alone, not one person at a time, not just one person at the top, but side by side. And I love this business model so that this way we can flourish, have our finances protected, know what we're doing, and it just keeps on growing and growing and growing. It's by far one of the, I'm taking advantage of all of it. That's why I have so many pieces to share, because it's all about the action. And so you get to choose. That's the cool thing, is that you get to pick.
I love it. Thank you so much. Folks want to learn and grow with our We Empower You community and get to know Rita and myself a little bit better. We have these weekly marketing strategy and networking mixers on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Rita, of course, was just there at the one yesterday where we dove really deeply into branding and marketing your business. And that was just a leap into, like frog leaping into the future for all of those that were attending. And of course, you can also join us at the We Empower You Global Virtual Summits, which we have every single quarter. And we had one last week, and that was phenomenal. It was a 12-hour day that folks can tap into. Next one is September the 8th, and that's 12 hours, as I said, marathon day where we feature more than 24 speakers, breakout sessions, and mentoring. Rita, what are your last thoughts? You have about 30 seconds.
Oh, my last thoughts are show up. Show up and do, I call it the CPR on your business. Be consistent, be persistent, be resilient, and participate. I really think that that is the way we get to grow. So thank you so much, Bettina. Come to We Empower You. If you know somebody that needs to be educated around money, let them know, share so that we all get to grow together, because it does take a village. And I thank you for being part of yours, Bettina.
Show up, everybody. So thank you so much, Rita, for sharing with us your powerful Rita Money solutions and your program that's coming up. Just repeat one more time the best way to get a hold of you.
The best way to get a hold of me is my cell, and I'm happy to put it out there. It's 818-276-5375. And text me or call me if you want to know more about our events. Or go to financialresetting.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So our upcoming promotions this week, Seattle Academy Boys Basketball is tonight at 7:15 p.m. Senior night versus Cedar Park Christian Bothell. 2 Juneteenth celebrations on Saturday from 11 to 2 for the Atlantic Street Center 20th anniversary celebration, and 3 to 5 from Othello Park Community Juneteenth celebration. And Make Music Day on the 21st, featuring live performances from Pier 62, Volunteer Park, and more locations, broadcast on Rainier Avenue Radio, noon until 9 p.m. Our show coming up right after is God is Inspiration. Thank you, everyone, for watching, listening, and sharing this interview on live Rainier Avenue Radio.world. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Ciao for now.